All right, everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to cover basically how to improve your online reputation. So what we're going to talk about today is going to be review quantity, so how to get more reviews, review quality, so how to get better reviews, so higher rated reviews, review distribution, so how to split them up in multiple ways so you could get the most out of your reviews, and then responding to reviews in certain ways that get you better. By responding, you get better feedback, you get better rankings on Google My Business. Anyways, we're going to talk about all that, as well as how to embed them within your website and how to use your online reputation through your different, maybe your social media and stuff like that, to try to basically spread your online reputation across all your presence online so that your reputation is basically sourced everywhere. So it's shown everywhere. So we're going to talk about this here. We're going to go through this training. It's probably going to take 30 to 45 minutes. This video is going to be that long. Time to implement for most of these tricks is going to be 1 to 2 weeks. And the thing is with your online reputation is that the more reviews you get, the more time you're going to have to spend. So it's going to be a constant thing, but at least there's some optimization, some things you could do that are going to be, done once and done forever. And then some other ones we're going to have to keep improving on. One thing I want to do before I start the video is just to explain to you guys the reason why you might want to improve your online reputation and why you might want to watch this video is that your online reputation, since it affects every single part of your business. So let's say, to give you a more concrete example, if somebody's looking at a business online, they're looking maybe for a roofing contractor, they're looking for a hair salon, a restaurant, an agency, whatever it may be, any type of service business, or I would say any business at all, they're going to look at your reputation. That is the strongest indicator of if you can be trusted or not. It's not an absolute indicator, because it doesn't mean that if this person has 1 million reviews, 1 million 5-star reviews, that I could actually trust them, but it's pretty close to 90 to 100%, So the idea behind it is that you want to have as many reviews as possible, as many high rated reviews as possible compared to your competition, because people are going to be comparing you. So if they're looking to buy a service from you that's a comparative service, so something that other people in your local area could do or online could do, they're going to most likely go with the person that has either the smallest price, so the cheapest price, or the best reputation, the best guarantee that they're going to get the results they want to pay for. So those are going to be the two major factors. You can see that even in e-commerce. You can see that on Amazon. If you see the products that have the most amount of reviews, they're usually ranked higher, and that's two cases. Maybe they get the most sales, but also since they are ranked higher and they have more reviews, they're actually getting more sales, and that's like the positive feedback loop there is going to happen. In any case, any type of business, any product you're selling, having reviews and showing, especially now online, showing that they're real reviews and showing that they're actual clients that purchase from you, and showing as many as possible is going to lead you to more conversions. So wherever people might find you, whether they find you even on review sites, so people might even search businesses on review sites, they'll see you on search engine results, they'll see your social media, and if your social media doesn't show client testimonials, that might disinterest some people. On maps or Google Maps and other stuff, so you might have your reputation spread there. So basically, as you can see, every single way a person can see your business, they're going to have an interaction with your past, your reviews, your reputation. So that reputation is going to follow you along everywhere. And then after that, when the person informs themselves, so they're going to check out your website, they're going to check out your content. If you don't show in your website, you don't show in your content your reviews, or you're missing out on an opportunity to convince them even more that you're going to be the business for them. So we're going to cover this in this video, and I want to show you guys before we start some little stats. Now because I'm filming, it's taking a little time to load, so we're going to give it 2 seconds here, but I want to show you guys some statistics here. So this is from Uberall. This doesn't mean that it's applies to every single industry, every single business, but it's still interesting to note. So consumer conversion rate increase by average review star rating. So this is for Google My Business. So as you see here, a Google My Business is converting at 5.5% if the review quality score is at 4.9 out of 5 stars. It's actually worse at 5 stars, because people don't trust 5 stars as much as they trust 4.9, because 5 stars seems fake, 5 stars seems paid for, 4.9 seems legitimate. You have some negative aspects to it. So funny enough, it's actually worse to have a 5-star review placed than a 4.7 and a 4.8 and a 4.9. So 4.9 seems to be the best. And then you can see how going from, let's say, a business that's rated 3.7 on Google My Business is going to lead you to an increase in conversion rates by 3% total, or almost 3% total. And it's more than a double. So you're doubling the amount of business you're going to get, or you are doubling the amount of business you're going to get, just by improving the rating of your reviews. So if you get a lot of traffic to Google My Business, especially if you're a local service business, this applies to you. But in any case, if you're any type of service business, imagine this as a microcosm of what's going to happen everywhere. Is that whether people see you on Trustpilot, whether they see it on your website, whether they see it, through social media, through other people referring them, or whatever platform they're going to see you on, this is probably going to be the same trend. I can't guarantee that it's going to be the same trend, but it's probably the same trend that this having a review, a rating of under, of here 3.7 compared to a rating of 4.9 is going to double your leads, double the amount of people who are actually going to end up contacting you. And the thing is too, that tends to happen is that if you increase your rating at the beginning of the funnel, so let's say when people see you first, their impression, their vibe, their energy towards your business is going to be a lot more trustworthy. It's going to be a lot more peaceful. It's going to be a lot more engaged in interactiveness. It's going to be a lot more friendly, I could say. This is not the case for everyone, but for most, from what I see, this is what's going to happen. And then if you start with a bad review, it's going to put them they're not at ease. They're trying to see if if you have a lot of bad reviews and it's actual bad reviews, like there's reasons behind it, they're going to be hesitant. They're not going to be trustworthy, and they're not going to trust you as much, and that's going to cause you issues. It's going to decrease your average order value. It's going to decrease your LTV. So people are going to spend less. They're going to spend less over time because they trust you less. So all these things have an effect not only directly in terms of your conversion rate on the spot. So as you see here, doubling basically the amount of business you will get from Google My Business, but it also affects you in the long term in terms of average order value and LTV. So something to consider there. Now, if you see here, in terms of amount of reviews, this is from Google My Business again. So you see here 0 reviews displayed, so difference in conversion rates, so difference in percentage of people who convert. You go from 0, so you go 1 to 10 reviews, 115%, 11 to 30 reviews displayed, 255%, 31 to 50, 300. So you see how it steadily increases, and I would assume it increases even more after that. Just to say that if you are at a stage in your business where you're getting 31 to 50 reviews, and maybe you could hit the 100 review mark, because it tends to be that after 100 reviews you kind of get the most effect of your review, your reputation management strategies, because 100 kind of seems like a bigger number than a 90. It just because it's the 3 digits, it actually has an visual impact on people, so it tends to have higher conversion rates. In any case, you can see how interesting it is to improve the quality of your reviews. So basically doubling your business, because you're not even doubling, you're just increasing your rating by 1.2. And then the effect it's going to have after that in terms of conversions even more by having more reviews. So having 51 to 100 reviews is going to basically, triple your business from going from 1 to 10. 0, we're not going to use it as a comparison. But in any case, here you would be tripling your business. So you see, in terms of Google My Business, you would triple your conversion rates and then double your conversion rates. Probably they're going to have a counter effect on each other. It's not going to be additive. But in any case, you could potentially double 2 to 5 times your business from Google My Business. Just that factor. So if you have a lot of people in Google My Business, that's going to be interesting for you to know. And again, this is going to spread out to everything in your business. So let's get into the actual training here, what actually to do. I think I've sold enough the idea that it's worth it. So what is online reputation? Well, basically what we talked about, just optimizing every single aspect of your reputation online, or you should optimize it. We went over this already. So the types of optimizations we're going to talk about is going to be optimally responding to reviews, how to respond to them in a way that keeps people engaged, maybe increases your LTV. So we're going to talk about that, how you can get people to actually be repeat customers by informing them in the reviews, by responding them correctly. Some initial improvements, and then some constant efforts. So initial stuff that you could do today, tomorrow, and then after that, some constant things that you're gonna have to do maybe every week, every year, every month. Maybe you're gonna want to hire an agency how to do these types of things. So anyways, we're gonna talk about all that. So responding to reviews. Why is it important to respond to reviews? Shows you care, number one. This is just blanket statement, but in any case, if you're interacting with reviews, let's say on your Google My Business profile, all your reviews don't have responses, and especially your negative reviews don't have responses, that's going to cause people to think you don't really care about your customers. There's some judgment towards there. Now, if you're responding, the other advantage of it is as well, which is kind of a mischievous thing to think, but if you respond to reviews, people are going to leave negative reviews, are going to see you as more human. They're going to see your business as actually being active. So there's probably going to be a shyness in actually being so bashful or being so aggressive, because they're going to interact with you online. It's going to humanize a little bit your business. So that might lend to less negative reviews just by the fact you're answering them, because people are going to leave negative reviews. They're going to think about it twice. They're maybe going to be more hesitant because they know you're actually going to respond. They know you're going to read it and respond to it. So that tends to qualm some of that. So number one, shows you care. Number two, shows you're active. So shows that your business is ready to take on business. It's active. It's going on, and we're going to talk about how to respond to them in a way that also does that. So it's both how to and also the timeliness of it. So if you're responding quickly, it just shows you care about your clients. Can lead to upsells. So like I was mentioning before, you could always upsell people on reviews too. And the thing is that reviews are public. So if you did service A for this person, and then in the reviews you mention as responding to them, hey, loved, so happy we did this service A for you. I'm happy you enjoyed it. If ever you need service B, we also offer this, and whatever it may be. Or you're offering upsells, you're offering cross sells, downsells, whatever it may be. You present that online, and so that when somebody's looking through your reviews, they see, oh wow, this person does service A, service B, without even going on your website. They already know the gist of what you're doing, and they know that you're doing it well, and they know that you're offering all these things. So again, it's just basically, all these things is stuff to calculate how much of an effect it has on your overall business. So how much is responding to this review, is it 1% improvement in conversion rate, or it's tough to decide, it's tough to decipher. In any case, doing all these things together is just really going to set you apart from your competition. It really is going to set you as a business that's reliable, reputable, that has strong connections with their clients, and it's just sharp. The best way I could say is sharp. You're going to look sharp. So after that, responding to old reviews. So if you haven't responded to your old reviews, it might be worth it to do it. Even if you might think it's awkward, depending on the situation, you might want to respond to them or not. If it's been 10 years, maybe you're not going to want to. It seems awkward, but in any case, I would say this is a reason why you might want to do it. You could resell to old clients. So these people were partners of yours. They were clients of yours 5 years ago. You haven't interacted with them. They forgot about you. They forgot about the service they received. They get a notification now. So if they have their things set up, they get a notification of you responding to the review. Now they're re-shown your business. They're reaffirmed with your business, and now they're thinking, oh, you know what? I actually needed that service. So that might lead you to get more customers just by responding to those old reviews. So if you have 100 unanswered reviews on Google My Business and you're missing customers because it's a bad season, push all those reviews. You might get 2% of them to contact you back because they actually had a good experience. It could actually change your negative reviews. So maybe, sometimes negative reviews are spur of the moment things. So if you respond to them, even if they're old, people might say, you know what, I actually went back to that place 3 times since that review and I forgot to remove it. Okay, so let me change it. Or maybe, I was a little too aggressive, let me just remove the review. So you might actually get better reviews after that. You might actually get worse reviews also, because some clients you might have done worse services in the future. But usually what tends to happen is that it's either a bad experience at the beginning, and then it gets better and better and better. And even if there's bumps, it tends to trend upwards. So usually you're going to get better reviews. So you see already these two are very valuable. Shows potential clients who care. So once again, it just shows your business, and that's where it's a little tough, because if you haven't answered in 5 years, and now it shows, left 5 years ago and now responded 30 seconds ago, it might look bad, it might look good. In any case, I would recommend responding to all of them. I think it's valuable. And then after that, the rest you see if it's, depending on the type of situation you're in. You can explain the services you offer. So most clients don't know all the services you offer. By mentioning them in the responses of your reviews, you allow potential clients to know the details of what you offer without having to visit your site to find out. So again, same principle as I was talking before, but now you also, because those people that you worked with, that you did services for 2 years ago, that left all those reviews, well, now you have new services, you have updated services, you have better services. Especially if you're an agency or you're someone, in a niche that's very a la mode, that's very, up and coming, you're going to want to share with them those types of offers. And that might be a way to re-engage them into new offers and get them to spend more, as well as all the people are going to read the comments, read the reviews. They're actually going to get information about all that type of stuff. So positive review template. This is just basic template that I would recommend for most businesses who don't want to break their heads about it. Obviously, you want to respond in a way that is very personalized. But if you just want templates because you have too many and you don't want to start breaking your head with everything, I would say, hello name, thank you for the great review. If it's a positive one, it means a lot to us. Happy we could do service. So you mentioned what you did because that shows people again what you did. So other people reading the reviews. For your in region service, you also mentioned the region. So now you're showing people, okay, we service this in this region. So if somebody's searching for information, now they just got it. Hopefully you think of us if ever you need complimentary / upsell service. So now you're upselling them on something. It's very, you can make it very natural. You know, obviously this is a template, but you can make it very natural. Hey Mary, you know, so happy we did your hair this week. Obviously, if ever you need anything else, highlights, whatever, or for an event, you let us know. You can come in and we could do your balayage, or you could cut your hair. We could do, you know, updos or whatever it may be. So always ways to make it smoother. We are opening hours or work hours. You could say we're open 24/7. We're ready to answer you 24/7, whatever it may be. So basically, now what you're giving out to the world, if people are going to see reviews, you're sharing. Okay, we do this service in this region at this time. So now people are thinking, okay, well look, okay, they're doing all this. So even if they don't go on your website, now they've registered that. So just increase a little bit that reputation you have, and also the sharpness again of your business, you could say. Personnel responding, so you make it personal. Again, this is the trick for getting to possibly getting negative reviews, less negative reviews. So you actually show you're a person, you show you're a person from this business, and you're not just automated. Obviously, this is if you're not doing it automated. Then for negative reviews response template, hello name, thank you for leaving a review. I noticed that you had an issue with, you describe whatever they described. Obviously, this is going to be more, I created a template, but this is going to be more a la carte. It's going to be depending on the type of business the type of review you're dealing with. You're not going to want to do templates because that might not be addressing the issue. But in any case, you address the issue. We would love to discuss with you and see if we can resolve it for you. Please call us a phone number to discuss it. Sincerely, personnel responding. Again, you're personalizing the messaging. Please call us. So basically, you want to give them the opportunity to contact you if they haven't done so before, so that you can resolve the issue outside of online. And then hopefully what happens is that you actually resolve the issue. You ask them politely, hey, do you think you could change your review because now we fixed it? If they agree, okay, perfect. Now you just removed yourself a review. So those are the type of tricks you could do to, you can't really, you don't want to manipulate people's reviews. If they have a good experience, they have a good experience. They have a bad experience, they have a bad experience. But what you can change is you could change the experience for them. You could offer them more stuff. You can make their experience better. You could change what the past experience was and turn it into a positive one in the future. So that's what you can do. And what that can lead you to is that going from, a 3.9 rating to a 4.7 rating. And what does that do to your business? It basically doubles it in terms of Google My Business, which also has other effects. But anyways, we're going to stick to what is shown. Bonus tips: responding fast is better. Rule of thumb is to respond under 5 minutes. Notifications set up. If you're not a very, if you're not a hair salon, you're not a restaurant where you're getting maybe 10 reviews a day or something like that, you might want to, have notifications, have it set up so you can respond fast. The reason why you want to respond fast is especially for negative reviews, because sometimes people might leave one by mistake, they might leave one for real. But if you can address the issue right away, then that allows you to potentially get that review removed. So answering quickly is going to allow you that. If you answer 3 days from now, if you answer a year from now, obviously that person's already moved on. They're not going to be thinking about it, and probably they're not going to be open to any solutions you might offer. Contact them directly. If a reviewer leaves you a bad review and you have their information and you think you could resolve it, I would say pick up the phone, call them, see what's the issue, whatever they describe, see if you can fix it again to try to get them the negative review changed. For Google My Business reviews, responding to them with keywords won't affect your ranking, so it doesn't actually help you rank higher on Google. But responding to other to reviews on other platforms will. So keep it in mind if you're responding to reviews on other platforms. So Trustpilot, Yelp, TripAdvisor, I believe for most of them that's going to be the case. So it's going to help with your SEO strategies as well. One thing also is that if people are leaving you reviews, those keywords actually help you rank. So those keywords matter in terms of rankings. So it's actually an SEO strategy to get reviews. So you see, that's the thing. This is one of the reasons why I made this board and I want to have all the elements connected, is that every single element has effects, whether it's small percentage on everything else. Your search engine results are actually affected. Your Google Maps is actually affected by your online reputation, in the fact that it's actually, the better reputation you have, the better. But it also in those little minute ways where your keywords are affecting your Google My Business rankings and so on and so forth. So if people are leaving you reviews and you're asking for reviews, we're going to talk about that later. You want to ask them basically to leave the most extensive review they can, because that's going to include a lot of keywords that's going to help you rank a little bit higher. So responding to reviews is great, quick and free way to keep your customers engaged and increase the revenue of your business directly and indirectly. Positive reviews are a great opportunity to upsell services, and negative reviews are a great way to show you care. Good rule of thumb is to answer to every single review you have ever received. Initial setup. So what we're going to talk about here, initial setup, is going to be the same thing basically for every single one of them. We have a training on Google My Business on how to actually optimize your Google My Business fully. So that's going to be talking also about the reviews, how to answer them within the sphere of Google My Business, because it's important for service businesses to know. So if you want to access that, it's going to be linked to the description below, as well as this training here. So we have 12 trainings covering every single aspect of your service business. Now we're doing reputation management, but we have one on Google My Business training. So you can check that out. You have all the information there. So I'm not going to go over it here. In terms of Facebook, for most service businesses, your Facebook page will be the second most used platform to leave reviews on. So usually it goes like this. It goes, if you're a local one, it's going to be Google My Business first, Facebook / Trustpilot, depending where you are in the world. So it's going to be Facebook or another type of directory, maybe not even Trustpilot. And if you're a tourism agency, it's going to be TripAdvisor and those types of, maybe Yelp, all those types of touristy style review sites. Those are going to be the most important ones for you to optimize. In any case, if you don't have time to do every single one, well, actually, you know what? It's not very complex to do it. So in any case, Facebook, full listing. You want every single information to be on there, every single profile, every image, all your information to be there. That just increases the, again, personability of your profile, makes sure that people know that you're engaged, people know that you're there. That reduces likelihood for negative keywords. Constant updates, having your listing constantly updated will show clients that your business is active and that the reviews you will have will reflect the service they will get in the present. So that's the other thing too. People, you have to see where people are searching for you the most. If they're searching for you the most on Google My Business, okay, maybe 80% of people are searching you on Google My Business, then 10% on Facebook. Well, if you don't have any posts on Facebook, those 10% of people are going to see your business and you haven't posted in 5 years, they're going to think you're dead. They're going to think your business is not online. They're going to think it's not doing its services, especially if you're not answering to reviews. Well, now they're going to see the reviews and they say, okay, review left 3 months ago. Okay, so they're still alive, but no response. So they might think, okay, this is a review from the past. Like I've had that assessment done. Like I've done that assessment to businesses where it's like, okay, this business is closed, or like this business is not active whatsoever. So I'm not even going to want to engage with that. So in any case, if you're trying to get more leads, trying to get more action, just post maybe automatic posts. We talk about in the social sites trainings. We have one about social sites, social media. And basically you want to, at least at the minimum, have static images. You could create them in Canva. You could create 100 of them. Just copy and paste different messaging. Maybe change the images in the background. Might take you 3 hours. You could hire someone on Fiverr to do it. And then just post them on an automatic posting scheduler every 3 days, every 7 days, just to keep your profile looking fresh, keep your profile looking alive. And that just at least gives you the foundation of, okay, I'm alive, this business is going. So if people are interacting with it, they're going to know about that. Yelp, third most used review platform. And so it's the most likely to spend time optimizing it. This is going to depend on your region. So check out what's actually being used. Again, complete all your information. One thing that's important is for every single review site in terms of SEO, you want to have your NAP the same. So a NAP is a name, address, phone number. I would say name, address, phone number, email, basically every information about your business, you want to be the exact same on every single platform. And the reason you want to do that is that Google associates all these things online. So if they see your Yelp profile, your Facebook profile, Google My Business profile, your website, and they have all that same information, they're going to connect the dots to them, as well as you linking to every single one of them, but they're going to connect the dots to them, and that's going to increase your SEO. So that's a link building strategy. And so that's going to help basically your SEO juices flowing in between each other, and that's going to help you rank higher in total. How much, the effect is, depends on how much you're doing. In any case, the reason you want to be, and when I say the exact same, I'm talking about the comma at the right place, the dot at the right place, the slash, the area code. Like if you're doing it one way somewhere, you do it the same way everywhere. because or else Google might get confused and they're not going to correlate these two things as one, which is not going to help you rank as much as you could have. So something to take into consideration. So same thing for Trustpilot, complete your company information full map. Reaffirm the security messaging on your website using the promotion box is something on Trustpilot. You could use this section to display the top 3 reasons why customers should buy from you. So again, you could fill out basically every single thing there is on Trustpilot just to make it really complete and show that you're actually active and live. Complete the guarantee section, display what customers are guaranteed every time they order from your website or they interact with your website. You can implement Facebook likes box display, an overview of your Facebook account, including the numbers of likes. So this is something you could do here on Trustpilot. You could include the amount of likes, and I believe, I don't know if it's on, I think maybe on Facebook you can have your Trustpilot reviews showing there as well. So there's kind of a play in between them too. Display reviews on your Facebook page and anywhere else possible, as Trustpilot reviews hold the most weight. So this is the other thing with Trustpilot, is that all reviews aren't equal. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later too, is that the best reviews are video reviews. Then the second best reviews are image reviews. Third best reviews are text reviews. And then fourth best are 0 reviews. Now for text reviews, the best text reviews are going to be Trustpilot reviews. It's Trustpilot, then it goes Google My Business, then maybe Facebook, those two are interchangeable, and then all the other sites. Trustpilot's a lot more trustworthy. People know that it's harder to fake. People tend to trust that more. Now, in terms of text, that's the best. Now, if you have video reviews, let's say showing on your website, that's the best. So having somebody selfie style, not a case study that's all planned and organized. Selfie style, hey, I had a good experience, especially if that person is an influencer. So if you get influencers, you get people that have influence. To do reviews like that just shows like, okay, your business is legitimate, this person of trustworthiness, I could trust that they're doing this authentically, and they left a review. So that confirms it for me. So something to take into consideration there. So link your reviews to your Google seller ratings, so Trustpilot reviews show up on search results. So this is what you could set up here. Customize your email invitations. If ever you're sending email invitations for reviews, you customize it, have a different messaging. Maybe you try to convey to that person that it's really worth it for you to get a review. We're going to talk about asking for reviews a little bit later. Yellow pages, like all the other platforms, you want to be set up. You want to have your name, address, phone number. Use the best keywords, as they might help you rank a little bit. So that's the other thing too. If you have some keywords, we have a training on SEO and how to actually find the best keywords for your business, how to rank them, and what's the calculator you could use to actually know those. And then from there, you could take those, maybe the top 20, take those, put them on the yellow pages or whatever platform you're doing link building SEO on, which is kind of this, and just have it everywhere so that you're actually helping your rankings. Extra platforms, although they're not used as much as the main ones, it is still worth it to set them up, as they are free to set up, and they can be done in a few hours. They can also serve to get you more clients if people stumble upon your business on there. So there's going to be a trend where, like I said before, maybe 80% of people are going to go on Google My Business, 10% on Trustpilot, 5% on Yelp, 2% on Yellow Pages, then 1% on the other ones, and then 2% on the rest. So there's going to be a decreasing amount of people that see you. But the thing is that if you have a profile on these, let's say the one that it's 1%, well, that 1% of client is going to see you, and they're not going to see your competitors on there because maybe they didn't take the time to do it. So now that 1% is now your 1%, and you're getting those leads first, at least, or you're getting that lead as a more interested lead because now they're seeing you there. Apart from all the SEO benefits, there is SEO benefits to basically have a profile on all these things, but just in terms of actual people might seeing your business, that 1% might be worth it for you. Now, obviously, if your business is doing, let's say, $10,000 a month or $100,000 a year, doing that 1% is going to take you maybe 1 hour to do that 1%. It's not going to be that worth it for your business, because the 1% you have, 30 clients a year, it's going to take you 3 years to even get that benefit from it, But if you're a business that's doing maybe $1 million a year, $10 million a year, well, 1% for your business is going to be tremendous. And especially if you're in a competitive market, you're going to stand out in those various little ways. And you're going to capture 1% of the market here, 1% of the market there, in ways that your competitors maybe aren't looking at. So those are basically, it's filling out the holes, basically covering all the holes in the bucket just to make sure that it's nice and complete. So extra tips: stay consistent on branding. Use the same color tone, same image style, same logo and illustrations. Just going to help customers basically know that's your business. So if they're seeing reviews from that profile, they're going to know it's actually you. The other thing too, with the reason why you want to have profiles on there, is that people might create fake ones. So if you have some insidious competitors, They might create fake ones. They might leave fake reviews on there. There's some vicious tactics going on. You might have bad reviews on there and you don't even know about it because that profile was created, maybe it was automatically created and now you have no control over it. The images that are posted on it are somebody else's images. So there's a lot of libeling that could go. So if you want to, just in that sense, just cover the bases, you have profiles on every single one. So that if somebody's ever searching for you, at least now you're showing up good. Having multiple places where people can leave review allows you to ask the same person for 10 reviews. We're going to talk about that. But basically, you could ask the same person for 10 reviews and ask them for every single platform if you have a good relationship with them. And so you're getting a review on Google, getting a review on Yelp, getting a review on Facebook. And so every single platform is ranking higher and higher and higher. And your competitors probably aren't doing that. And so maybe on Google My Business, you're losing against them. But if you go on Facebook, you're going to have more than them. On Yelp, you're going to have more than them, and so on and so forth. So that 20% of people total that they're seeing you on the other platforms, you're going to be the best one. Even if on Google you are not, those 20 are going to consider you as the best one. So something to keep in mind. Constant optimization. So why is consistently getting new reviews important? So quantity and quality, although having a good review rating is important, having more reviews than your competitors affects your business as well. More reviews means more trust. And when people compare to businesses in the same industry, they will, a majority of the time, choose the one with the most reviews, all else being equal. So this is something that I would say is probably the most important thing to grasp, is that it's a numbers game. If you're on Google My Business and people are comparing you, because that's what happens on Google My Business, you see all the comparison. If you have 1,000 reviews and your competitor has 250, you're crushing them. The conversion rate you're going to get is going to be significantly higher than the one of your competitors because you're 4 times better than anybody else. Now, if you're just 5 reviews higher, 5 reviews lower, especially if you're lower than anyone in your competition, that's going to affect your conversion rate like crazy. You really want to get higher there. And then it's a snowball effect because the more reviews you have, the more people click on your listing because they trust it more. So your conversion rate is higher on Google. When Google notices your conversion rate is higher, they're going to rank you higher on Google My Business. When you rank higher on Google My Business, you're probably going to get more reviews because you're getting more. So you see how the whole thing just keeps turning. So having a lot of quantity reviews, we're going to talk about some little strategies to do that, but very important. And obviously rating, I would say if you're getting 4.7, like we were showing the graph before. So if I go back up just to see again, there you go here. So, you get to 4.7, I would say even 4.6, you're pretty good on rating. So it's time to get more reviews. If you're trying to optimize for your rating and you're trying to get more, obviously 4.9 is better, but if you're trying to get 5, it's not worth it. If you're in the 4.6 to 4.9 range, I would say it's good and it's time to push for more reviews, and the quality is going to have to take a side step for a little while. In any case, most of the time, if you're going to ask for reviews, you're probably going to get good reviews because you're probably a good business, hopefully. All right, so constant improvements. Here we have helps ranking. So for Google, it helps a little bit, not a little bit. It helps a lot to have a lot of reviews. And I believe it even affects your actual search rankings. So your website's rankings, not just your Google My Business, can actually affect your actual website and how it ranks. And especially if you're getting more visitors on Google My Business, then that's going to help in that sense. So, everything just kind of has an effect, has its hand on everything else, and it's just affecting everything. Shows that you're active. One of the most discreet ways in which people will decide not to contact you is as if they see that you aren't getting any new reviews, or at least none in the last month. Not none. In the last month, this will give people the impression that you're maybe not in business anymore, and will reduce the chances that they call you. So this is something to keep in mind as well. How to ask for reviews optimally. So asking for reviews, the best way would be you want to ask for multiple sites. So first thing is, if you know the client or you have a good relationship with the client, ask them to leave you as many reviews as possible on every single platform. That would be number one, or at least the top 2, the top 3 maybe. They could just copy and paste the same thing, and that's it. SMS, I would say ask in SMS instead of email. What you could do is you could do email automations maybe for reminders, but you want to maybe ask for SMS first, because that's going to give you a much higher conversion rate, because most people read their SMS, but emails, they tend to read it less. I believe the standard is going to be something like 5 to 15% of, if they're old clients, 5 to 15% of them are actually going to respond to you and actually leave a review. So if you're going with that metric, and SMS might be double, or it might be twice as effective. So maybe 5% for email and maybe 10%, 15% for SMS. So it's very worth it if you have a limited amount of businesses. Obviously, the best would be calling them. If you call them, or if you have them in real life and you ask them for a review, that's the best. In most cases, you might not want to do that. It gets a little bit awkward to ask for reviews if you don't have that relationship with them. So SMS, I would say, guaranteed the best thing to do compared to email. And then after that, in terms of email, you could have sequences where maybe you ask them 3 times and then you drop it after that because you might be bothering them. But maybe you ask them 3 times in a less aggressive way. Maybe the first time you ask them for the review and then you reply to that email saying, giving them value and not even mentioning the review, giving them value. But then what happens is that if they read that email, well, now they read the first email, they remember to leave your review. So there's ways to play around with it. Tutorial and link. This is something you should do, especially with clients that are maybe older or people that are less experienced. You actually send them a tutorial of how to actually review. So you could leave a PDF. You could use Canva to do this. You have a PDF. You share that PDF, let's say by email, and then within the PDF you have a clickable link that leads them to the Google review. But basically, you have a tutorial on top. So you show how to leave a review. Then you have the link. They click the link, they get to the Google My Business, but at least they know how to leave a review. Because you might be surprised, some people don't even know how to leave a review. So if you're giving them that information, that might just give them that extra nudge to do it for you. Because most people, if they're not connected to their Google accounts, they're not going to know. So it might help you increase conversion rates a little bit. How should they leave reviews? Obviously, you should let a customer review you authentically. Even if so, you can ask them if they really enjoyed your service to do you a favor and write reviews with these things kept in mind. So you want to keep the integrity of the reviews integral, but you want to ask them to put keywords. One way you could ask them is just say, hey, can you leave me a really extensive review? Like just write your whole experience. That's really going to help me for SEO, whatever. Just in your own authentic voice, just give me the heaviest review you can. The short reviews don't help you for SEO. So for SEO, this is going to be worth it. In terms of images, if you have images of the service you made, maybe you gave them a haircut, maybe you did the roof, you want to take those images, professionals especially, and give it to them. Even though, I would say professional is good, but maybe you want to sprinkle some, more authentically taken images, some selfies, some stuff like that, just because that makes it more as a real review. It just shows as a real review because it is more authentic. So ask for images. If you have to provide to them images, provided to them. If they have their own images, they do it themselves. It takes up more space in Google reviews, so it just takes up more space. Then it shows people what the service you actually did. So it actually engages people when they're looking through your reviews. So it just basically just enhances everything in terms of your presence. Specifics, ideally, if a customer is to leave you a review, you want them to write the details of the service you offered them, what it was, when it was, where it was, how it was, like the whole who, what, where, when, how. You wanted them to describe every single thing. So obviously if they're doing a big message and you ask them for a big message, they're most likely going to complete it. But that's going to, again, give people the impression, if they're scrolling through your reviews, okay, well, that business did this, that business did that. Okay, I could trust them for these things. Filtering reviews, ideally, you only want 5-star reviews to show up on your Google My Business. But truth is, sometimes people won't be satisfied with your service, or you are not the type of people who live, or you're not the type of people who live 5-star reviews. So you want to do is you filter them out when you can. So how do you do this? What you can do is that you can set up a QR code, or let's say maybe you're sending them a link, and let's say it's a client you're not sure if their experience was great, they haven't shown to you that their experience was tremendous. What you can send them is a link to a landing page. That landing page, instead of being a link directly to Google My Business, you have a landing page in between them. So it's landing page, then it's Google My Business. And on the landing page, you have a form. On that form, you might write, how was your experience, rated 1 through 5, give a little bit of detail. Or maybe you make it super simple, so just rate it out of 5. If they rate it 4 and lower, you redirect them to a contact form or a dispute form, a insatisfaction form. So they could contact you directly, so you could solve the issue. If they leave you a 5-star review on that landing page, then you redirect them to Google My Business. So what does that allow you to do? Well, those people are going to leave you a 5-star review. Now they're actually going to leave you that 5-star review on Google. And if they're going to leave you a 4-star review or less, well, now you could interrupt them before they do, and you actually solve the issue, and then potentially get that 5-star review in the future. So a way you could do it that's, I believe it's strong. There's a way to do it unethically. You could manipulate things, but in any case, it's just basically it's offering them a solution before they leave a review. if they're unsatisfied. If they're satisfied, then perfect. Here's a link to the review. They could always leave a review in any case on Google My Business if they go on themselves, but now you're just trying to facilitate getting better reviews in your case. Asking old customers, so asking every single customer who's ever had to leave a review, even if it's been 10 years. We talked about that in the past. And again, email, SMS campaign, you could do reminders, you could do 3 SMS. I would say if you're doing these messaging, you want to make it personal. Nobody likes these automated messages. How you could leave me a review. That's also going to decrease your conversion rate and probably increase your negative reply rate. So if you're doing personalized email, hey, I remember we did this job for you in whatever city. Hope it went well. If ever you have any questions, just one thing. If you'd like to, leave us a review. Here's a link. Here's a PDF. Boom. Asking new customer, ask every single customer to leave a review. If you weren't in direct contact with them, get your team to ask them for reviews. Ask them in real life. That's going to be the best way to ask them. So, like I was saying before, there's a hierarchy for how to showcase reviews, but there's also a hierarchy for how to ask for reviews. So it would be real life first, phone call second, SMS third, email fourth, and then not contact them fifth. I would say if you can get them in real life right after you've given them the service, that's when you get probably the best responses. And also you could also interact with them in a way where you ask them first, okay, how was your service? Can I actually do something better for you? Like, is there something you need? If they say no, then perfect, here's a review. They say yes, then you actually help them. So it just makes the interaction a lot more human, a lot more interactive. It just makes it better and increase the likelihood you get a review and also you get a positive review. So if you're a hair salon, whatever, you could have these review tap cards where basically you get it's like the size of a credit card, and on it has a QR code, and it's a tap card. So if you go with your phone and you tap the card with your phone, it actually links you directly to Google My Business or whatever, Trustpilot, whatever you set it up. So then people can leave your review automatically. So instead of you saying, hey, can you leave your review? Here's the link, or go on this site, and you're there. You just have the card, you say, hey, tap this card or scan the QR code, links them directly to Google My Business. They leave a review and then you're done. So that's pretty much it. One other thing, you could ask customers of all sizes. So this is something that's going to be worth it, especially for businesses that are doing high ticket services. So if you're doing, a roofing company, doing $10,000 plus in terms of services, you might want to do this is that because let's say you and your competition, you're all competing for, let's say $30,000 roofs or $200,000 roofs. The amount of reviews you could actually get depends on the amount of clients you actually have. So if you only have 20 clients a year because all your contracts are $200,000, which you have a good business, but you only have 20 reviews, potential reviews to even have. And there you're probably going to get 15 of those, and then one of them is going to be negative. So usually that's what's going to happen. Now imagine your competitor is the same thing, and he's at 100 reviews, and you're at 35. Now imagine you have a low ticket service. Maybe you're doing gutter cleaning. Maybe you're doing roofing, like you're sweeping roofs, maybe you're window cleaning fast. Or you're doing these little medial jobs on the side. Maybe you're shoveling snow off roofs. So you're doing additive jobs, but you're doing them on their own for their own clients. So you have a $500 job that you do on the weekend that you send 2 of your guys to do. You have 5 of your guys do that. You get 5 of those jobs a week. Every week for the whole year. So now you got 250 reviews potential. So the idea is that with those low ticket services, because they're smaller, you're able to do more of them. And that for a business that has those high services, you could get those small reviews. And actually, it's not even a pretend, because you actually have better reviews, but they're only getting the reviews for the roofs. Now you're getting reviews for your whole services. And so you're getting your presence to be stronger, because Google doesn't discriminate between a $5 review and a $10,000 review and a $1 million review. So if you have 1,000 reviews because it's $5 services, then you have 1,000 reviews. If you have 1,000 reviews from 30,000 services, it's 1,000 reviews. So in terms of what the client sees, it comes out to the same thing. So something to consider there, one trick you could play. After that, where to ask for reviews? You can ask for reviews either through links or in real life, the best being in real life. So again, I'm not going to go through this again. I just went through it before. When to ask for reviews, best time is right after they receive the service, so when they're happiest. Overall tips for asking for reviews: ask for reviews for all different services that you offer, big or small. Again, we just talked about this. Call in some favors. If you want to rank well on review sites, you want good reviews, it's time to call in some favors and ask friends and family to leave reviews on all platforms. Now, the thing is with this, if they haven't interacted with your business, they haven't done deals with your business, then they in terms of their Google's guidelines, they actually can't leave you a review because they're not reviewing the service they received. But if any case, maybe you did freebies for your friends at the beginning, you did freebies for your family, you could ask you actually did a service, you actually did something for them. So then you can ask them to say, hey, can you spread all these reviews? And maybe you help them write in a way that benefits your rankings, but still stays true to their experience. So something you consider there. Then again, you got some Google Tab cards, you got some tools like that that you could use to just automate the process a little bit. So that's pretty much it in conclusion. Again, if you want access to all the trainings, now I'm going to go back to the board, but if you want access to all the trainings, we have a link to the description below. We have automation, competition, Google My Business. This is the GMB one. So we talk about a little bit of stuff here. Now we just went through this one, the reviews one. These are some about sales, website design, how to design it with the reviews. So we talk about it in there. In any case, a bunch of, like I said, everything's intertwined. So you can check all those out. Now let's just go back here and let's just see if there's anything else we could talk about. Well, again, review quantity, just to go through the whole thing. You want to get more reviews, ask your old clients, ask your new clients, get some low ticket services, get some tools to get some reviews. You want to get high quality reviews, ask them with a template, get a bad review filter, so you get the bad reviews filtered. You could ask them with a template just to automate the process, but most likely you're going to want to manually do it. Then after that, review distribution, Google My Business, Yelp, Trustpilot, Facebook, TripAdvisor, other major platforms. If you're tourism, you're going to want to be more on TripAdvisor, those type of stuff. If you're a local service business, going to Google My Business. If you're an agency, you're going to check maybe the types of review sites that are made for agencies, and you could go on those. Responding to reviews, you want to respond to positive reviews, negative reviews. Every single review you ever had and ever will have benefits from having a response. So that's that there. And then in terms of your website, if you're trying to show those reviews you're getting, I would say on your website, we talk about that more in detail in the design training, but you want to show your Google My Business. If you're a local service business, you want to show Google My Business reviews, the rating and the number on your page, your front page of your website. You want to show your Trustpilot reviews because they're going to be the highest trustworthy reviews. Then maybe second section, third section on your website, you want to have selfie style video recordings of people leaving you reviews. And there you basically want to put as many as possible. If you have 1,000 of those, put 1,000 of those and just let people scroll. If people want to scroll, they're just going to scroll. Then after that, I would say at the bottom of your website, depending on the type of business you have and the aesthetics you're going for, you can have a section at the bottom where it's basically after your footer, which would be your footer, but it's at the footer, and basically have a bunch of reviews there, maybe another scroll, but maybe with the text reviews, or maybe with the reviews that are less potent. If you have screenshot reviews or people leaving you DMs, you could use those. Those are used more and more as more trustworthy. You can use screenshots even in Google My Business, screenshots of Trustpilot, maybe in real life, people leaving you, handwritten letters, whatever, maybe you take pictures of those, and that's going to help you rank a little bit better. So that's pretty much it for this video. If again you guys want to download the trainings, they're there for free. Take it in the description. If you want to access this whole board and all the information within it, so like the profit calculator, the whole advanced checklist. So we have all the checklists for how to optimize your online reputation. It can be a little bit further on the right, but basically has evaluation, what you're ranking, how good are you right now, what's the impact it could have on your business, how much does it cost, and what is the priority list, which one you should do first. So we have that for reputation management. If you want to access that, this is in the bundle here, the optimization bundle we call it. That is the paid product. So this one I'm not giving it out for free, but the 12 trainings you could access it for free. If ever you want to hire an agency, we're Vizions Digital. We're the agency that basically I'm representing for these videos. If you want to call us, you could take a call in the description below as well. It's going to be either with me or a team member. So you can check that out. We have a bunch of different offers. Basically we do every single thing that we talk about in these videos as a big bundle, but we also do splits of those services. So we do website design, website optimization, embedding the reviews in your website, so on and so forth, to increase conversion rates. So basically that's our main focus, is increasing conversion rates and SEO. So getting you more people to your website and then converting them to actual clients with all the strategies we talk about. And then we also have the complete optimization, where it's basically covering every single aspect we talk about in these videos. Those are for larger businesses. If ever you're one of those, please contact us. We'd love to see if we can help and see if we can increase your conversion rate, sales, revenue, and profit, and so on. We even have some case studies down here. If you guys want to access this and check this out, we did some videos on these. They're going to be on the channel as well. So that's pretty much it for the video. If you guys have any questions, comments, please let me know. If you have anything that you'd like to add, something that didn't make sense, something that you think could be valuable, please let me know. I want to keep expanding this. I want to keep making it better and better and better. So if you guys have any feedback, please let me know. I'm open to everything. I'll discuss it with you in the comment section. I'll try to respond to everyone. So anything that maybe in this video didn't even make sense, or you think, okay, you didn't understand, or, you know, whatever it may be, I'd like to add stuff. So please let me know. And if there's anything that you think could be better explained, let me know that as well in the comments. So that's pretty much it for the video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.